The bedroom was too quiet to be real. Velvet draped windows shut out the world beyond her bedroom. The air smelled faintly of cedar and smoke. Nothing in this room belonged to her, especially not the bed she was going to share now with a man she just took vows with an hour ago. As she sat there on the silk sheets alone, she felt not scared but numb. She got married tonight and her groom was dead. Not the man she married, no, the man she was supposed to marry. Jimin, eldest son, heir of the John family. Her parents had favors to pay. She knew she was nothing more than a transaction and she had made peace with that, but tonight had to be the most craziest night of her life. Vine stared at herself in the mirror. How could she ended up on the bed of Jamin's younger brother and all of a sudden, what happened? Her mind kept playing games with her. Why was she not afraid? As much as she remembered, she stood at the altar waiting for her supposed to be groom, Jamin. He was a perfectionist, all smiles and strategies, but he could be a gentleman as well if he wanted to put an act of it. She stood there and so did the others waiting for him only to hear a terrifyingly loud gunshot announcing mourning at the night of her wedding. The panic had spread. Guests remained, yet guards ran to do their duty. Until he made an appearance. Jungkook, Jimin's younger brother, the one who people had always heard of in silence, the one who never showed his face because his family sent him away at a very young age. The second child, the troublemaker, except he wasn't had any normal blood. And Mafia being a troublemaker didn't mean disobeying his parents or getting scolded by teachers. It meant playing with knives, going after his own blood, and playing with fire, just like he did tonight. As she stood at the altar, she saw him, entering the venue, each step menacing as he stepped towards her. People screamed not because of him, but because of what he dragged alongside himself a body, a dead body of his older brother dressed up ready for the wedding. He was dead. She could tell by the amount of blood that was spilling out of him and down to the floor. And Vian? She was a woman clad in a bridal dress waiting to take vows, only to be presented with the dead body of supposed to be her husband. Jungkook stopped in front of the stage, dropped Jamin as his mother came rushing. One sentence. He said only one sentence before he slid a ring in her finger with his blood-filled hands and took the vows with her. Jamin is dead, but the wedding continues. The door creaked open. Wine didn't turn around. She didn't think her mind was yet ready to face him. He was quiet, quiet like a ninja. Did he step in? Was he still by the door? Wine turned only to find him standing by the bed beside her, staring down at her. She nearly flinched. JK, comfortable? Wine. Is that what you ask every bride you drag away from the crime scene? Jungkook, every? You wine. It had always been you. Wine. I do not understand. Jungkook, but I do. I know you didn't love Jimin. I know you didn't flinch when I walked down the aisle with his body. I know if you cared, you could have said no. Wine, could I? She asked, and the silence followed. Could she really? With the dead body of her groom placed before her eyes and the murder was the man she married. Could she really? Vine truly didn't care about whatever melodrama was going on in his family. She didn't care who she married, but somehow, if she had to compare, she liked Jungkook better. Jamin, being a professionalist, always made sure to look perfect in public and enforced the same thing on her. But Jungkook, he went against his family, killed his own blood just to have what he wanted. A kind of rebel she always wanted to be. A kind of person who would take what they want by hook or by crook. Jungkook, let's see, he said before he took a seat in front of her. His hand tugged the stray hair off her face in a very soft yet dangerously obsessed manner, a kind of feather-like touch which burned against her skin. Jungkook, you're right. You couldn't. I wasn't going to let you. Wyan, your brother's death is your and your family's matter to care about. I'm not interested in how you're going to handle it, but Wyan, you have married me now. Don't die on me. I've no plans of being called a widow. It wasn't romantic. It was an order for herself, for her own protection. Jungkook understood it. He got it, and yet it drove him crazy to hear it from her. It felt so good. Jungkook, I'm not dying. No one got you after all these years. He kissed her cheek and then her jaw. Jungkook, I'm going to make you obsessed with me like I am obsessed with you. Love me like I love you. And crave every single man's blood on the ground beneath your feet if they as much as dare to separate us. One stared at him quietly. What was it she felt? Those words made a fire ignite in her heart. Jimin's death still left a bitter taste in her mouth she didn't like, so she looked in her husband's eyes, held his shirt, and then placed her lips against his. Jungkook took no time to be shocked. He gripped her waist, held her neck, and pulled her in before kissing her like how a bride is supposed to be kissed. It wasn't a love move from her. Jungkook knew it well, but she crossed a line which could never be drawn again. She was the first one to initiate the touch, and Jungkook didn't think he could ever go back to controlling himself. He had killed his own blood when they tried to take her away. The thought of someone else, even if it was his own brother, touching and smiling at one left no good taste at his tongue. In his madness, he could do anything, and that was the only reason why he was sent away. It was his parents' fault to separate their child and drop him into a pit of monsters, expecting him to grow up to be a fine man. Because when a child is groomed under the shadows of monsters, he grows up to be a demon. Wine pulled away, but Jungkook wasn't done. He breathed once before taking her lips in between his again. The touch, the taste, the feel took him to cloud nine. Wine let him. His fingers burned into her skin, yet she let him. In that moment, she realized he saved her from a marriage so suffocating, where she could hardly breathe, into a marriage where she was the queen, the one who held the reins, the one who sat on the throne, and he was going to watch her as she ruled.